Hey, before the video begins, I just want to thank you for your endless patience. I know I haven't uploaded in a while, but I wanted to make sure I covered everything that Yixuan is capable of in this video. You will know the ins and outs of this character and be able to consistently execute her best combos without fail. Today, we'll be learning the basics, her easy to learn, hard to master combos, and finally her build. Make sure to stick around till the end of the video, as it is the best way to support my channel, aside from subbing of course. Thank you again for watching today's video, and let's get started. Now her core kit has a lot of text, and some, including me, are very confused about it, so let me put this in the simplest way possible. There's a few keywords that keep coming up every now and then, mainly sheer force, adrenaline, and a few others. Let's go down the list. Sheer force is a new stat that increases the amount of sheer damage a character deals. Now it looks like only rupture agents can deal sheer damage, so don't worry about your other units. For Yixuan specifically, all Auric Ink damage Yixuan deals via her skills is sheer damage, ignoring 100% of the enemy's defense and using her sheer force stat as the damage multiplier. On top of that, Yixuan will also gain extra sheer force based on her max HP. With every 1 point of max HP, sheer force will increase by 0.1. Next is adrenaline. Adrenaline is actually just your energy with a different name. The following interactions will give you extra energy or adrenaline. Triggering an anomaly gives 10 adrenaline, and perfect dodging gives 5 adrenaline. Now, moving on to technique points. Technique points are gained and stored in this area whenever you consume adrenaline. When enough technique is consumed, Yixuan can trigger an additional ultimate. The maximum amount of technique points you can hold is 120. Speaking of that additional ultimate, let's quickly talk about the Auric Ink Point. This one is very simple. That yin and yang symbol is your Auric Ink Point. When the symbol is glowing, it means you have a point. Only one move can consume this point, and that is the Auric Array, which is your AoE dodge move. As for the actually upgradable portion of her kit, specific moves in Yixuan's kit will have their damage increased by a percentage. And now, finally, for her team passive. When a squad member uses an ultimate, Yixuan will continuously recover 2 adrenaline over 10 seconds. If Yixuan is switched out by a perfect assist, she automatically follows up with a lightning strike attack. This attack is equal to 225% of her sheer force and restores an additional 5 adrenaline. Her EX specials, Cloud Shaper and Ashen Ink, deal 30% more damage to stunned enemies. And finally, after activating her ultimate, Yixuan enters the meditation state, increasing her crit damage by 40% for 15 seconds. These effects can be activated as long as you have a stun, support, or a defense unit on your team. For her basics, they are pretty simple but do require some practice to get used to. Yixuan's main damage is her EX specials, so we'll be focusing on those for the video. Her EX special is a counterattack that when hit, will immediately be fully charged and do a follow-up attack. But you don't actually need to wait the whole duration to activate the extra attack. When you hold the button, all you have to do is wait for the flash and then release the button. This counterattack also has a 3-hit combo where the second attack doesn't require energy, but the third and final attack does. This is your most important combo in her entire kit, so make sure to practice this. Her counter special is very broken and even has priority over the other moves, meaning at any point in your basics, you can animation cancel with the move to counter when needed. Now that we've covered what to do with your EX special, what do you do after? Well, you have 3 options. You can continue with the full 3-hit combo, do a 2-hit combo, or just do the one over and over. This is where it does get situational, but I can confidently say that you shouldn't do the full 3-hit combo unless you're absolutely sure you can fill up your technique bar. It may deal the most damage, but it also consumes the most adrenaline. So instead of doing the full combo, I recommend just doing the first 2 attacks. The second attack doesn't use up any adrenaline, but also doesn't build up any technique points either. It is free damage anyways, but it's up to you whether you use it or not. I recommend doing a basic attack in between EX specials to skip the combo window. It's very long and you want to skip this for efficiency. You can actually see how long you have to wait using the adrenaline bar. Now after playing this unit pretty much every day, I believe I have figured out the optimal combo to max out your technique bar. You can just do full combos until the bar is full, but you're going to have to wait a while to get that final full combo out. So instead, you want to do 3 regular counters and 1 full combo counter. You don't have to wait for the enemy to use the full charge counter, but basic attacking while waiting will help build the adrenaline you need. Now, before we continue to W engines, I just want to do a much needed shout out to the homie Ciaran. Ciaran. Apparently the correct way to pronounce his name is Ciaran according to him, but I think Ciaran sounds cooler. Anyways, Ciaran is the main reason I was able to figure out Yixuan's rotation. I was really struggling with her moves and Ciaran provided me with a whole different way to play her. It felt really smooth and without his help, I don't think I would have been comfortable pumping this guide out so soon. On his side of things, Ciaran's guides are pretty long, but that's because he has a lot of important information about each unit. I've already watched a few of his videos and he likes to look at units in a totally different angle than I do. There's no fluff and his guides are pretty reliable, so if you're open to watching a long form guide maker, then Ciaran is your guy. As usual, Yixuan's signature, Birdcage, is her best in slot. Since Yixuan is a new character with a whole new role, her options are limited and very simple for now. In order from best to worst, we have Qingming Birdcage, the Battle Pass W Engine Radio Wave, Puzzle Sphere, and finally Cinder Cobalt. If I'm going to be honest, Puzzle Sphere is a very good option, but Cobalt isn't the worst. While Puzzle Sphere gives more buffs overall, it also has an attack percent main stat instead of HP. So if you don't have Puzzle Sphere, don't worry. Cobalt will be a great temporary substitute until you either get a max out Puzzle Sphere or when a new W engine becomes available. For the build, 4-piece Yunque and a 2-piece of either Branch and Blade or Woodpecker is going to be your best. 2-piece Chaotic Metal can work, but if you have either her signature or Nicole on your team, then you might feel a very slight reduction in damage. Of course, this all depends on whatever 2-piece you currently have that has the best subs. For stat goals, I recommend a minimum of 15k HP, and for 4 to 6, I recommend crit rate, or crit damage, ether damage over HP percent, and finally HP percent. And here are the times that I have clocked in against the new boss Avarice. I'd like to quickly add that Avarice is weak to fire as well, so the times are a little in favor of the fire units. But I assure you these are all still accurate based on the team composition. As usual, the Astra teams are on top, but what's very surprising is that the Aftershock units are actually keeping up with the buffers. Personally, I wasn't expecting much, but after multiple tests, they all work really well with Yixuan. I could also say the same for Kaleda and Lucy's teams, and the reason why these specific teams work so well is because of her held basic. While you do hold your basic button, the move is considered as an EX special, so Lucy's M6, Polkra's Aftershocks, and of course Trigger's Tartarus will get the most benefits out of Yixuan. Pan and Nicole's teams are pretty obvious as they buff Yixuan's numbers, but what's real surprising is Trigger. Ciaran and I had been talking and he mentioned a team comp with Trigger and I thought he was crazy. There was no synergy element wise, so we can't even activate Trigger's team passive. This team shouldn't have worked. This team shouldn't have worked. But then I asked myself, would this really work in a fight? Yixuan and Trigger may not be compatible, but most of our held attacks are considered as EX specials. So while we're not getting the most days out of Trigger, we are activating Tartarus all the time. Consistency is key in this game, and this team comp is the best example. As an added bonus, I'd like to add into Fufu's list of runs as well. While the energized pack leader Hati is still weak to fire, it isn't weak to ether, meaning these runs are a bit more balanced even when using Yixuan and Astra. And looking at the top 2, we have Nicole and Astra being tied for first, while Pan isn't too far behind. So what changed between the Avarice and Hati fights? 2 words: miasmic field. When the field is broken, Avarice will receive massive damage and daze. This means the teams that can dish out damage the fastest will have a better run than most. I didn't really plan this, but I am glad I waited until the Shiyu defense refresh. Yixuan and Astra felt too good, if you know what I mean. Moving on to the main topic, who are Yixuan's best teammates? For stunners, Fufu and Trigger are going to be her best. Both units like to apply tremendous amounts of days off field while giving Yixuan as much uptime as she wants. And for supports, Pan, Nicole, and Lucy are perfect synergies for Yixuan. Lucy, especially M6 Lucy, provides very nice consistent damage and buffs for the team. Nicole gives Yixuan a very strong ether damage bonus. And finally, Pan is currently the only unit that boosts sheer force, so he's a no-brainer as well. But for most cases, especially in long fights like Deadly Assault, Astra is her best support.
What a nuisance. An opening. Allow me. Obliterate form and spirit. Your face is sealed. Clarity and impurity. Let's make this quick. I'll eat everything. An opening. What a nuisance. Let's make this quick. Allow me. An opening. The pleasure's all yours. Yin and yang. Let's get still. Scatter. Awesome, yeah. Don't kick evil. Shall be purged. What a nuisance. Let's make this quick. What a nuisance. Cycle of yin and yang. Release. Catch this one. An opening. Evil shall be purged. A beautiful shooting star! Let's make this quick. Reality and illusion. I'll win and absorb. Swift yet still, clear yet mercy. Swift yet still. Get your guard. What a nuisance. And the winner is me! Allow me. Let's make this quick. Strength is enough. I'll win and absorb. Your fate is sealed.
And that's about it. Yixuan is our first Rupture unit in the game, and she's pretty broken. In my opinion, I recommend pulling for her even if you're new. With just A rank supports, she can easily clear any challenge. If we continue to get Rupture units like her, then I think the meta will definitely shift in her favor. Let me know how your pulls went, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.